Welcome back, my friends. Today I don't have a super fancy edited video. I don't have a super catchy hook, but I got a lot for you. So we're gonna dive straight in. Over the last 3 years, have coached over 100 reps or close to it. And I've been on some of the biggest teams, doing $1 million, $2 million a month. And I've been able to learn a lot about success, but I've also been able to learn a lot about failure. And while seeing the common traits in the people who win, there's also been some interesting ones about the people who lose and the people who fail. And so that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. And so starting off, the first reason why most closers never get to 20K a month is so simple, but most just quit too easily. There's this big burst of motivation of you learn about this opportunity of I can sell for influencers and I can make all this crazy money. And you get into the space and you realize that you need to have a lot of slots open. You realize there's a lot that goes into actually being able to persuade somebody to hand over $10,000. You understand that there's a lot that goes into calendar management, that goes into knowing your numbers. And once a lot of people start to see what actually goes into it, they quit. And I've seen a lot of people be on the teams that I was on, that I was consistently the top or one of the top reps and not last. And it all comes down to quitting too easily. Or maybe they don't even get there, right? Maybe they apply, maybe they know they're on a shitty role and they apply to 5, 10 offers and they don't get an interview, or they get interviews and they don't get hired, and then they get discouraged and stop, right? This is also the beauty of having somebody to call you out on your shit. One of my clients had a life-changing result working with us. He was making like $1,500 a month, and I have a lot of respect for him, right? His wife helped him pay for the program, and so you can imagine there's a lot of fire that's under him. And he got into the program, and for 2 months he did not get on an offer, and I gave him hell for that. Of course, from a respectful place, from a loving place, but I gave him hell for that. And he constantly would show up excuse after excuse after excuse. And so eventually he did apply, start applying to roles, and he did land a role. And he went from 1,500 to 9 grand. Within, that 9 grand he made in his first month on that offer. He joined a team of 10 reps and was number 3. And the point is here, he was feeling very discouraged. He was feeling very close to quitting. And most people feel what he feels, what he felt, and they give up. The only way to actually fail is to quit. As cliche as it sounds, that is the only way to actually fail. And no matter if it's been a year, if it's been 2 years, if it's been 6 months, that's the only way you fail. And a lot of people come into this space, they give it a few months and they quit. So that's number 1. Number 2 ties into number 1, and it's about expectations. A lot of closers come into this space with completely fucked expectations. They think that they're going to come in and they are the type of person to even be in the room, an offer that you can make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. And they also think that they could come in. Like, here's the thing, guys, this is not a game of time freedom. This is not an opportunity or a business model, or just a model. It's not a business. This isn't a model where you're going to get time freedom, right? You're going to be able to get location freedom. The best way to think about it, you're simply going to be in a box taking calls. Now, the beauty of it is you could be in a fancy box, right? You could be in a box that looks like this and has a view like this. You could be in a box with a water view. You could be in a box from anywhere in the world, but when it really comes down to it, you were sitting down in a box and you were locked in and you were taking calls, and that's what your day looks like. And so when you come in with the expectation of I'm just gonna take a couple calls and make 30 grand a month, it's like that's not true, right? Even to make 10K a month at the beginning when your skill set's not there, you are back to back 9 to 9 with double book calls, and all you barely have time to take a piss. All you're doing is shanking all day. You barely have time to eat. That's the expectation, and that's what it takes to be able to live the life that you want. I'm recording this right now, and my parents are at their 2nd vacation that I've been able to pay for, right? I live in a beautiful place. I've been able to build a great life for myself, and nobody pays for anything around me anymore, which is great, right? Like whenever I'm out, I'm covering tabs. Like my close friends and family don't spend a dime around me. And me getting into this space was a matter of risk and a matter of having the right expectations. I didn't make 10 grand a month for 10 months, literally 10 months. Now, it does not have to take that long, but 10 months of showing up and working hard every single day, my first 10K month. Like realistically, you are going to go from a decent offer, you're going to get game tape footage from that offer, and then you have the confidence and somewhat of a track record to be able to get on a role that you have the potential to make the 20 to 30K months. But you're not just going to go straight into the NBA. And again, it's a life-changing life-changing result that you're after here. How can you expect a life-changing result to be easy and to be quick? It makes no fucking sense. It brings me to my next point, is most closers allow minor setbacks to derail them. Like, you'll be having a bad day, right? Let's say, I don't fucking know, you're like arguing with your girl or something that day, or some kind of bad news comes across you, and now you're gonna let it affect how you're showing up on all of your calls. Now you're showing up like complete shit. And now not only is the thing that's going on in your personal life happening, and you're not making any fucking money. Or it'll be the end of the day, you know you need to train, as in train in sales, and review your call, because that's the commitment that you make to yourself. Or you know you need to hit the gym, but you tell yourself, oh man, I had such a bad day. You'll let a bad day derail you from doing the things that you need to do, from showing up in the areas that you need to show up. And it's like you find yourself in this perpetual cycle of your standards slightly increasing and then dropping back to the fucking baseline, and just make the most absurd excuses. Like, I had a client, okay, and it was two guys working together, okay, and they're great guys, and like, they're probably watching this, and if you guys hear this, it's no shade, but this is crazy. And I said this to them, right, where they were on a shit offer, okay, they were on a shit offer and they need to get on a better offer, and I put my reputation online. I helped them and I introed them to some people who run really big info offers that, like, all of you've definitely heard of, who I'm blessed to be connected with, right? I'm blessed to be friends with these guys. And so I make the intro and they want to see a loom. This dude took these guys 2 weeks to record a loom. Why did they take 2 weeks to record a loom? Because they needed a haircut. Are we serious right now? I am putting my reputation out there to help you get on an offer, and the only thing that you need to do is record a fucking loom, and the reason you were dragging your feet 2 weeks is because you need a haircut. Throw a fucking hat on. I record these YouTube videos when my hair looks crazy. What do? I throw a fucking hat on. Like, this is what I mean, right? Or some closers will be on shitty roles for months. They'll be on a bad offer for 3 months, 4 months. And here's the thing, is it's a convenient excuse. Oh, the reason I'm not making the money that I want to make is because, well, this offer is bad. Okay, well, whose responsibility is it to get on a better offer, right? Obviously it's yours, but it's easy to be able to give up the responsibility that way. And this is what a lot of closers do. You'll stay on an offer that is shit, and you'll constantly keep telling yourself the story of the offer is shit, and that takes away your power. That takes away your responsibility to be able to change your situation. Number 4 is choosing novelty over mastery, right? A sales process is very fucking simple, especially when you're in the beginning and you don't need all the fancy shit. Like, you find a problem, find out what they've done to solve the problem, you talk about what happens once that problem is solved, i.e. solution, and then you consequence them, and then you pitch. Like, it's really that fucking simple. But the problem is, a lot of you are watching so many fucking reels, Jedi mind tricks, and you come to a call and you're trying all this shit at once, and it's like, bro, you don't even know how to find a fucking problem yet. So why are you trying to use this like NLP mind trick? You don't even know how to set a frame yet. You don't know how to find a problem, and you want to introduce all these layers of complexity because it sounds sexy. Guys, success is actually pretty fucking boring, right? The things that it takes to see success is not going to be the sexy shit. It's like getting in better shape, like putting on muscle. What do you do to put on muscle? You eat, you get your protein in, you train 5 days a week. You do that, you're gonna put on muscle, right? It's that fucking simple. But you know, a lot of people want to introduce all these like fancy fucking workouts and like this diet and that diet. It's like, bro, hit your protein, work out 5 days a week, and it's the same exact thing. Y'all get so wrapped up in your mind with all these fancy tactics, and you don't even know the fundamentals yet. Like, stick to the boring shit, master the boring shit, then go to the advanced shit. Again, it's boring. It's not novelty. It's the fun thing to do is to find another cool thing. And this one drives me fucking crazy. And that brings me to the next point, which is low personal standards. Like, there are closers who will tell me, bro, I don't even want to make a crazy amount. I just want to make like 4 to 5K a month. That's your standard? 4 to 5K a month? Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me? First of all, you don't even believe that that's what you actually want to make. Again, a story that you tell yourself that you want to make 4 to 5K a month. And this also says a lot about your identity, that you see yourself as a 4 to 5K a month person, right? And you're gonna take 4 to 5K a month actions if that's the story that you're telling yourself. Oh yeah, I just want to make like 4 to 5. You don't even believe that shit. And another thing when it comes to standards is being able to stick to doing the thing that you say you're gonna do. I keep things very simple, and all the people that you've seen have success on my YouTube, on my Instagram, they didn't do a bunch of crazy shit. They did the same boring, simple things, and it compounded over time. But if you can't stick to the thing that you say you're gonna do, I'll give you a prime example, okay? I have a job board that we get like probably like 500 new offers every single month, or we get multiple per day. And when someone comes in and they're either on a shit roll or they're they're not on a roll at all, one of the first things is to apply to 40 roles in a week. 40 roles. If you are not on a good offer, there's no reason that you're not applying to 40 roles in a week. And people will come in and they'll apply to 5, 10, and give every excuse. Oh, I'm trying to fine tune my shit. What are we talking about? Fine tune what? Record your looms, get feedback, reiterate, apply. This is what your competition is doing as well. Like if I were in the market to get a closing offer, that's what I'm doing. I'm abusing applications. You know, assuming if we take out the fact that I have a network, if we take out the fact that I have people that I could reach out to if I ever wanted to get on an offer, if we take that out and it was solely me joining the program and applying, I am abusing the fucking job board, and then I'm abusing these people in the DMs, and then I'm abusing them in the email. Like, I am going to be ruthless. And the problem, and this goes back to earlier when we talked about having the wrong expectations and quitting too easily. You send 5, 10 applications and you don't get hired, like, and that's enough to derail you to completely stop. Like, put the fries in the bag if that is enough to derail you to stop. It's one thing getting discouraged, and again, this is why it's so good to have mentorship, because it's one thing if that happens, you don't hear back, and then you get discouraged, and it's like, and then you have a mentor to talk to help, first of all, to call you on your shit and to get you out of your own way. But you are not putting in the effort, and then you're also not putting yourself in the rooms, putting yourself in position to be able to get the expert support. It's like, bro, put the fries in the bag. Like, the standard thing is crazy, right? And here's another thing about standards. It reinforces your identity. I said that earlier, right? You say you're gonna do something and then you don't. You are telling yourself, I am not the kind of person who follows through on my word. How is that going to now translate to your prospects? How's that now going to translate when you are having calls? And then you're trying to objection to handle this person to own up to not taking action, right? Or you're trying to hold them to a higher standard based on the words they said earlier in the call. Maybe earlier in the call they said, yeah, now's the time, I've been procrastinating for too long, but then they give you an objection at the end. And then you're struggling to be able to handle the objection, and it's because you constantly say things to yourself that you're gonna do that you don't do. And so that is now the standard that you have set for yourself. And that's what you hold onto, and that's what you believe so deeply inside. And so of course you're not going to be able to handle that. Of course you're not going to be able to help that person get out of their own way. That brings me to the next point, negotiating with non-negotiables. And I know you're probably wondering, doesn't that sound like a fucking oxymoron? Yes, it does, because it is. You have non-negotiable things, okay? Things that, you wake up at a certain time, you take your supplements. Let's say you tell yourself you're going to read. Let's say you tell yourself you're going to meditate. Let's say you tell yourself you're going to read the Bible, whatever, right? You're going to go to the gym. You're going to review calls. You're going to show up to a training. You tell yourself that you have these things that are non-negotiable. And when it comes to sales, like, it's actually so fucking easy. Like, if you're on an offer, it's actually so fucking easy. It's looking at the amount of live calls that you need to have in a day. First of all, making sure you have those calls. So let's say it's 4 live calls, making sure that no matter what, by the time that day ends, you take your 4 live calls. I don't care if you have to go fucking door knocking on your apartment. Obviously that's an exaggeration. I don't care if you need to hit the CRM, whatever you need to do. I don't care how many slots you need to open, but you take the amount of calls that you need for your hedge. That's number 1. Number 2 is making sure that at the end of each day, you are journaling in a very structured way that I teach, but you are journaling and you are leaving your thoughts and your emotions there. This is how you manage your emotions, by the way. This is part of how you manage your emotions, and you're working out. If you're taking your calls, you're journaling, and you're working out, just these 3 things every day. I don't care if there's a fucking earthquake. I don't care if there's a tornado. Every day you do those things. But here's the problem. A lot of you fuckers want to negotiate with non-negotiables. And so you'll tell yourself, I'm so tired. I just took all these calls. I'm not gonna journal today. I'll just end the day. What does that turn into? Before we even get there, let's say you tell yourself you're gonna meditate early in the day. Like when you start your day, because I tell my students to do that, right? You start your day and you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, I don't really feel like meditating. I'm gonna just get straight to it, okay? Then that snowballs into what? Oh, fuck, I didn't take my 4 calls. It's the end of the day. I'm at 2 calls. Like, should I do dials to find more calls? I'm at 3 calls. Oh, fuck, I'm tired. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna just end the day. Then what? You know what? I'm not even gonna journal today. Like, I have this journaling shit that I need to do, but like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna do it. Then what do? A, you take that energy into the next day. B, you have now reinforced the identity of you are not the kind of person who follows through. Like, negotiating with non-negotiables is a nigga math, and it happens so often, which easily ties into the next thing, which is operating in the identity that is not serving you over having the willpower to act in the identity that does. Now, I keep talking about identity, and what's crazy is, like, the identity is obviously a part of the sales process, and we talk about identity framing the prospects, right? We talk about being able to have them act in their 2.0 self, but very rarely do closers identity frame themselves. Dude, most people in general are moving through life aimlessly, out of shape, broke, no direction, no purpose, fucking being blown by the wind is how most people are moving through their life, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. When it comes to identity, like simply asking yourself, what does the 20K a month version of myself do right now? I'll give an example for myself. For the longest time, I felt victim to being on a shit offer for a long time. It took 10 months. And the reason is because I was on an offer way longer than I should have been. I was on an offer that I was averaging like 2 to 4 grand a month. And I stayed on that offer for 9 months or something, like 8 months, 9 months. And I kept telling myself, oh, things are gonna get better. Oh, lead flow is gonna get fixed. Oh, we're gonna get better lead quality. I kept telling myself these stories and keeping myself there every single month. And another thing is I told myself this story of I'm being loyal by staying here, all of which was cope for myself because I didn't have the confidence that I'm gonna be able to go on another offer and actually be able to perform. And I would not come to terms with the fact that it was that. I would tell myself this novel story. And the version of myself who was making 10K a month, who was making 20 and eventually 30K a month, that's not how he was operating, right? That version of myself, once I got off of that offer and I got a new offer and things were not aligning, I started applying the offers immediately, right? As soon as things were not aligning. I started being way more aggressive. I started sending more messages. I started sending more applications. I started putting myself out there way more to be in a better position, to be on a better offer, because that's what the version of myself who's making 20, 30 grand a month does, right? Or when it comes to training and investing into training, I had this massive ego about I don't need training. I'm already good enough. I just need to be on a better offer. I say these things to y'all, not from a high horse, but from a place of like, I had to overcome this shit myself. I will constantly tell myself these stories of like, nah, I don't need training. I don't need to get better. I just need to get on a better offer. But then on the other side, I'm telling myself that I'm not getting on another offer and I'm not aggressively applying because I don't have the confidence that I'll be able to land and last on another offer. So how is one side of me saying that I don't have a skill issue, I have an offer issue, but then the other side is saying I'm afraid to get on another offer because I won't last? It's nigga math, right? It does not make sense. And the 20K, that's broke closer shit, right? The 20K a month version of myself, that's not how he operates and that's not how he makes decisions. And so I started to shift that and see things in that light. Why am I afraid to invest 16K into coaching when I'm telling myself I want to make 20K a month? Does the version of myself who makes 20K a month, does he have a problem investing 16 grand? He probably doesn't. He definitely doesn't. Next one is lack of purpose / direction. So I already talked about this, right? No intention, no purpose, no vision in life, just getting blown by the wind. I remember when I first got started in this journey of entrepreneurship, writing out all the things that I wanted to do, I moved with extreme intention. I remember seeing places like this, like going and touring places like this before I can afford anything close to what I live in now. Looking at cars that I had no business looking at, right? Again, that's more of the material shit. Writing out what exactly it is I want out of life, who I want to help, the changes that I want to make, who I want to give back to. And as I'm recording this right now, so again, I said this earlier, right? Something that was big for me is being able to live somewhere that's always warm. I live in fucking Florida, right? I lived in Texas before this. Another thing is being able to pay for my parents' vacation. Right now, as I'm recording this, this is their second trip that they've been on that I've paid for. Being able to live in a corner unit apartment, right? As you can't really see that it's a corner, but it's a fucking corner unit, right? And so many more things. But the key here and the common denominator here is intention. And even now, there's intention that I move with and an extreme level of intention, an extreme level of aggression about who is the eventual father I want to be, who is the eventual husband that I want to be. What more do I want to be able to do for my family? What more do I want to be able to give to my clients, right? My students who take the sacrifices to be able to invest with us? What kinds of outcomes do I want my students to get? You know, every decision that I make within my life now is a matter of intention. Everything is intentional. I could tell you every single decision I made. Like this video, for example, was not necessarily like a planned video. Like I had a lot of shit on my mind, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna film this bitch. So I put my light up, I fucking grabbed my chair, and here we are. Because this video and me talking about this, first of all, I know it's gonna hit someone hard. And secondly, this type of action supports the man that I wanna be. The man that I wanna be doesn't prolong and put off when he can have some shit on his chest. He sits down and he bangs it out. Lack of purpose and direction is holding so many of you back. Another thing is fear of isolation on the journey, right? When I first got an online business again, I used to live in Delaware, okay? And there was a point that I didn't hang out or talk to anyone for like 6 months. 6 months, people thought something was wrong with me because there was nothing more on my mind than I need to get the fuck out of the state and I need to put myself in a better position because I'm not happy with my life. I was not drinking, I was not smoking, I wasn't doing anything outside of being very laser focused and intentional about my goals. And as a result, I started losing friends. Not even from a place of malice, from a place of like us hating each other, but it's like y'all are doing shit that I no longer am interested in doing. Like, I don't care to bitch about how bad the economy is. I don't care to bitch about politics and shit. I don't care to constantly go, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a time and place to have fun, but that was not the time and place. I don't care to go out, right? It was DoorDash, my dishwashing job, and Uber Eats and online business, and nothing else that was outside of those mattered. And so it was a very isolating period. And I'm very thankful for this isolating period because that's what's been able to help me build the life that I've been able to build, help nearly 100 closers, take my parents on trips, live the amazing life that I've been able to live because it took 6 months of isolation. But that 6 months of loneliness, that 6 months of isolation is what so many of you are afraid of. And then the last thing here on my rant is victim mindset. This mindset of the world is happening to me rather than for me. And it shows up in so many different ways. And this is probably the biggest one because this is the biggest mind virus that you can have as someone who is trying to be successful in business. Seeing your life as a result of things having happened to you. Oh, I didn't grow up the best, or I didn't grow up rich, and so my parents didn't put the best beliefs into me. Or I live in some shitty little town in Idaho and I don't have any successful entrepreneurs around me. Or I am not smart enough, right? Or all of these things that make you a victim. You know, there was a closer at one time, right, that was like, oh yeah, man, but it was like so much easier to break into high ticket when you were doing it. It was so much easier to get on a good offer when you first started out. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you actually believe that. Why did Dante go from $1,500 a month to $9K a month? Why did Chris go from $3K a month to $30K a month? It's these stories of victimhood, this story of my situation is so much different. My situation is so much worse. And the crazy part about this is you'll find ways to justify this every single day, to justify why your situation's different, why your situation's so much worse, why it's so much more justifiable for you to be broke. And one thing that I teach my clients when it comes to challenging their prospect is everything is the prospect's fault. They either haven't done anything or they haven't done enough, but everything is their fault. And sometimes it's hard for my clients to internalize that when they're just starting out, right? And they're just starting to be able to adapt these beliefs into themselves. It's hard for them to understand that, like, what do you mean everything is the prospect's fault? And the way you understand that everything is the prospect's fault is to first understand that everything is your fault. Everything about your life right now is your fault. If you're fat and out of shape, your fault. If you're fucking broke, your fault. You're in a bad offer, your fault. This isn't in a way to tear you down. This is in a way for you to regain your power. Everything is your fault. If the problem starts with you, then the solution starts with you. And that empowers you so much more to be able to solve your problem than waiting for the external change, waiting for an offer to just fall on your lap, waiting for things to just work. So I'll wrap this up by saying that it's not that hard. To make $20,000 a month as a closer is not rocket science. It's the same boring things repeated over and over again. And there's actually very little competition because most reps are so fucking lazy. So if you've made it to the end of this, I'm sure that what I'm saying is actually resonating and is sticking. And maybe there are parts of what I'm saying here that you see yourself in. And what I want to leave you with is you have the power to change your situation. If you're telling yourself, I can't afford to invest into a mentor, you have the power to get resourceful and figure out how to get the help, how to get out of your situation, how to fast track it. If I could do this shit, again, coming from being a dishwasher in a very small town, having my parents immigrated here from Kenya when I was 2 years old, and they were making $6 an hour in a gas station. If I could do this, if I could build the life that I've been able to build, I promise you, you can make $20,000 a month. You can. It starts with getting out of your own way. So I hope this resonated. I hope you hear this and have some light bulbs. If you want help on that journey, hit the link in the description. You know what to do. Book a call with either me or my team. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Love you guys. Peace.